fuck? Oh, what is good, everybody? Oh, what is good, y'all? How are we all doing today? Sheesh. Yo, what's good, everybody? We are currently just chilling. You know, we are just chilling. Hi, man. I know you're gonna be gone anyway because you come and then you go, bro. But it's all good. But how are we doing though? First to you, bro. First to you, man. First to you. Yeah, how is everybody doing so far? This is a live stream. We are doing a short live stream because, you know, I gotta go to work, gotta be chilling, all that sort of good stuff. So it's yeah. We're doing alright, lad. You know, can't complain. At least it's a bit more cooler today than it was yesterday, because bloody hell. It was absolutely crazy hot weather yesterday. I mean, it technically still is quite a humid day, but not as humid as it was yesterday. So yeah. But we're vibing. And you know, we got a lot of preparation to do in terms of, you know, the 29th, which will be fun because it shows people what we got going on for the 29th and everything else. So it should be fun. Oh, I love how it gives you the option to pop up and say hello, even though you're here. But how is all people considering? People that are just joined, welcome. And it's nice to see people come through. I hope you're all having an amazing Friday. You know, considering it is going to be the weekend, it's going to be Saturday. Hope you're all going to have a good Saturday. I know I am because I'm working, but it'll be good fun. Yes, there may be 2 people watching, but you still have to continue talking regardless. And this is the weird part about social media, is you can genuinely be talking to 2 people and you still have to come up with weird conversations to have with yourself while people are talking. What's up, you don't know? And you gotta really build on talking and feeling comfortable enough to talk to yourself, because even though yes, there are people watching, you still gotta be able to feel comfortable talking to a screen while people are in the live stream. If you can do that and you can master the skill to talk to your audience as well as captivate on conversations, win-win. You know, it is a win-win. And the video behind that you see is genuinely a elephant helping another animal getting out of Henry for president. It would be good to have me as a president, but I don't do politics shit. I'd be bad at politics, I can't lie. And that's the thing, I can't be bothered with pregnancy. But yes, a gazelle could not get out of the water, so this elephant actually did help the gazelle get out of the water so it could go back with its rest of its friends and family. So yeah, there is a lot to you know, to talk about, to get through, all that sort of good stuff. So for people that just joined, if you love nature, do subscribe, hit that subscribe button in the face. Make sure you turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any time that I go live or upload a video, because that is important. I'm also here to tell you guys that I'm here to do a podcast. I've been reading several different stories lately, and they're all some stupid. Well, I never said I was 4'11". I am 5'4". Math is different between the two. You got your information factually wrong there, lad. But yeah, I'm also here to tell you guys that I'm doing a podcast. I will be doing my own podcast for, for the next extension, which is going to be fun. So we are hoping to captivate on Spotify. So yes, I will be doing podcasts around animals on that. You should never feel, this is the thing, and I will say this so many times, you should never feel embarrassed about your height, and you should never feel, um, any different way about your height. You are who you are, you know what I mean? So be proud of who you are, and really just enjoy being short. Because being tall, you hit your head. Tall people hit their head on everything. Short people don't have that advantage. So be proud of who you are. And it's like a life. You should never let anyone tell you that you're useless or pathetic or anything like that. You are who you are. You should be proud of who you are. Follow your dreams and your passion and everything else. My passion is to always speak about animals and give light on real things and real things around nature. A lot of people get misled information about nature, especially when it comes to like elephants, lions, tigers, jaguar, and people believe this bizarre theory about northern white rhinos being extinct. It's not true. You know, so that is not something that is true. But when it comes to different species of animals, I will always tell the truth, because my knowledge and what I know about animals is very much accurate and to the T. I don't talk about politics. I do not talk about you know religion or anything like that. It's just simply evolved around nature. That is it. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Just simply nature and animals. That is it. That is simply what I care about. It's just animals alone, and that is it. It's calm. I'm only 5'2". We are all human. Exactly. And people are too scared to embrace who they are. And people that bully other people, there's a saying, if there's one saying I could leave with everybody that will impact them forever, for the people that want to talk shit about you, it says more about them than it does about you. So if they're going out of their way to mock you or bully you or intimidate you, that is saying more about themselves than the person they are talking about. So you should never feel scared or vulnerable. Just keep that in mind forever. Keep that in mind. Because there's a lot of negative people in this world, but then there's also a lot of positive people in this world. And I think the people that are so negative and hateful are only gonna fuck up their own lives, and they don't need help doing that by by angering them or putting more fuel to the fire. It's just how it goes. You can't argue with somebody that is already an angry, bitter person. Bitter people get what's coming to them, and that is life. Karma is a bitch. If you treat people how you want, if you want to treat people with like shit, then they're gonna treat you like shit. If you treat people how you want to be treated, it's gonna work so much more better. See, I always captivate on respect and honesty. That is what I base my shit on. I don't care about, who's the tougher, who's the bravest, who can knock out who's killed, who's done this, who's done that. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is how you treat people as a whole. Simple. So if you're gonna treat me like shit, I'm gonna treat you like shit. It's that fucking simple. But all in all, it is what it is. That's how I see it. That's how I view it. And for me though, like on a very serious level, I haven't got time to beef with anybody. I ain't got time to argue over petty shit. It's better to just focus on what you love. Focus on what you love and what you desperately want in life. That's the thing. That's what makes life so much more precious, is if you trace what you love and you really truly value what you love doing, nothing else matters. Nothing else should matter. If you have a dream or an idea, goal of what you want in life, go for it. 1000% go for it. That's all I gotta say, you know. And for me, I mean, at the moment, I'm gonna, like I say, I'm working on getting a podcast done so I can promote that on my YouTube and get you guys to have a little listen on some interesting animal facts and stuff like that. Exactly. This is why I say what comes around goes around. It works both ways. If you treat people with respect, then the karma's gonna work in a good way. If you treat people like a bitch, then expect karma. Karma has a. I am a big believer in karma. Very big believer in karma. And I don't need to do nothing to anybody to prove that, you know? But on a very serious level though, I'm here to basically let you guys know that I am gonna be starting a podcast on nature, giving you guys some daily facts about, you know, different types of animals and, you know, talking in general. That is how I'm gonna start this podcast. And I want everyone to be, you know, listening to the interesting side of nature that you may never have heard before or anything else in between. I appreciate that you agree with the statements that I made, you know, before moving on swiftly. Much appreciated. And if you like it, like I say, if you genuinely want to learn about your favorite animals or you want to learn about the truth about nature, come subscribe to my channel. We will teach you all there is to know about nature. Like a lot of people, like say, right, take this for a grand example, right? A lot of you guys don't really know why we call hippopotamuses hippopotamuses, but it's actually a combination of Greek words for hippopotamus. So hippo means horse, potamus means river, hippopotamus, because it's a mixture of Greek words. Now, how interesting is that? You know, and and this is what I want to teach people in general, different understandings of what certain animals mean in terms of Greek or in terms of, you know, Latin or, you know, whatever. If I can teach you guys different elements of nature that is broken down in a way that is easy for you guys to understand and manifest that into something beautiful, then I'm happy. What's good, Annie? So yeah, podcast is coming out at some point. I'm still trying to figure out what logo I want and everything else. So it's in a working process. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it, and then once I release the first audio, then we will get kickstarting with animal facts through that, give you guys an introduction of what the podcast is going to be about and everything else, and give you guys something fun to learn, you know, from why hippopotamuses are called hippopotamuses, talk a little bit about northern white rhinos and so on and so forth with the first podcast. I think it'd be quite cool. I really do. So if you're all interested in nature, do go and help me subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me because it's like I say, you guys are the reason why I do what I do. I love that. Again, somebody that is passionate, someone that is passionate like me, I fuck with. I fuck with that shit. I respect your hustle on that. That you're educating people in the same light. You know what I mean? And I rate that. I really do. I would love for more people to speak on stuff that they enjoy. You know what I mean? Well, Richard, you do now. They are pretty much black. they're not truly white because their fur is transparent, so it turns into black. So, yeah. But like I say, with the podcast, and if you guys have any specific things you want me to talk about on my podcast, you know, like in suggestion wise, don't hesitate to let me know, because we will be covering it through YouTube, and we'll also be covering it through, you know, Spotify. And I know Spotify is going to be a good place to branch as well. And I want to get as much information out as much as possible. And the thing is, I'm also going to be talking about the guy that got attacked by a tiger in Finland. Or was it Thailand? I think it was Thailand or Finland. I can't remember. I guarantee it was Finland, but I can't remember. It was one of the two anyway. That I'm gonna be covering that story, and I'm gonna be covering the elements of natural, on my opinion on why I think it was disgusting and why I think it should never have happened in the first place, and so on and so forth. And a little bit about me. I do work in a zoo. I'm very much in the zoo life. I do work with animals, and I know my knowledge because of background history and all that sort of stuff. I love what I do. Richard, you do, mate. You do. You really do. And this is why I love nature. It's not because, you know, it makes you go wow, but it's more the fact it blows your mind. You never stop learning with nature. Like, for example, right? Like, I remember reading an article of how chameleons' bones glow in the dark, and there's only two theories as to why that could be. The first theory as to why a chameleon's bones would glow in the dark is because, you know, they might get hunted in the night, so they're saying, hey, back off, you know, I'm poisonous. Or it could be a simple fact of attracting females to want to mate with them. That's another reason. But nobody knows how concrete that is yet, because they're still ongoing with learning that. But it just shows you that nature blows our mind every time we discover something new, or there's something new to learn. We're just like, oh my god, that's actually insane. You know what I mean? And there's lots of things that we still yet need to explore. Exactly. And subscribe because it's massively important. You guys help me a lot by, you know, growing this channel. There's always talks about, you know, certain things coming back from extinction. And this is the thing. It could work, then again it might not work. And it's always a big gamble. No, I didn't. And that doesn't sound like something that genuinely happened. It's like, for example, right? I'll give you guys a grand example. So when we talk about sometimes misled information, well, I wish them all the best. If they are gonna do that, we're bringing them back. I wish them nothing but the best, but I just can't see it happening. But it's like how people are seeing this circulating around. Now, there's just one logical myth about this type of rhino. So this that you see behind me, the article that you see behind me, is all myth. This is a northern white rhino. And yes, the only male did pass away, but then they tried to flip the script to say, oh, you know, northern white rhinos are now critically extinct. They're never coming back. Not true. They have two female northern white rhinos in a safari park at this current time. And the funny thing is, they misguided this information because, you know, since there are two northern white rhinos does not mean that there is no more. The last sighting was in 2006 of northern white rhinos being in the wild. But there could still be potentially a good opportunity for a northern white rhino to produce babies. They just have to make sure that they have found a male northern white rhino for this to work. And they are desperately looking all over the place for that to happen. They haven't found one yet. So in terms of, you know, a northern white rhino being extinct, it's not true. It's critically endangered, and it's this male was the last of the male race in terms of, you know, northern white rhinos. But there could be a possibility that there might be another northern white male, you know, somewhere. It's possible they might go down that route in terms of bringing just like a white rhino to produce with a northern white rhino, but they still clinging on hope. This is the thing, they still got time, but time is against them in terms of saving this beautiful species. But who knows what will happen? It's plausible, but it's everything is a gamble. Didn't some zoo in Ireland have breeding pair for white rhinos? That was for typically just for white rhinos. This is a northern white rhino. So it's plausible. I mean, according to research in itself, that the last northern white rhino was the last to die, which was the male. So the last species of male for the northern white rhino, the last male did typically die, but that doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean that they won't try in the future to try and find a northern white, you know, white rhino that is a male and is ready to breed. Because when you think about critically endangered species, they are on the breeding list. Like how you think about orangutans. Orangutans are on the breeding list. No matter what zoo you go to, they are typically always going to have, you know, critically endangered animals ready to mate. I mean, we have, for my zoo alone, sorry, I won't be able to see no comments just for the minute while I get this up. Bear with us for literally 2 seconds straight. There we are. Right, so it's like my zoo. We have this beautiful leopard that is found in the cold parts of Russia all the way to the cold parts of, you know, China. These guys are critically endangered, and there's only said to be 100 left in the wild. So to have him at our zoo, and to have Fredo breed in our zoo, is gonna be a life changing experience. He's had kids before, and it's done really, really well. So we're hoping that Fredo can continue bringing the lifeline upwards, not downwards. We do have him a female that is, you know, going to breed with him. So it's all positive. So when you think about critically endangered, I do remember it goes a long way to basically reserve critically endangered animals to help them breed, and then therefore they don't have to, you know, worry about extinction. But even when it's critically endangered, it's even more harder to try and find a potential female to mate with the animal that is critically endangered. So it's vastly hard when it's critically endangered. When it's you know, vulnerable or, you know, whereabouts, it is a lot more easier because you got potential, you know, subjects. Someone kicked this person out. No, not that person. The purple ban, unban that other geezer because I wasn't really paying attention to what you were saying. It didn't seem like he was doing anything wrong, but oh well. But yes, in terms of every critically endangered animal, we have to look at the database. Is there a breeding partner for this potential critically endangered animal? If so, where can we find it and how can we get these guys to properly, have babies so then that way they can save their species alone? That's what we want. We want the numbers to be stable, but when you think about critically endangered, it's sad. It's all good, Justin. It's all good. It's all good. So Northern, when you think, and this is the thing that doesn't get brought up, and I'll speak about this in terms of, nature, in terms of poaching, because it is. It sure is. So as I say, when we think about, again, when you think about, animals that get, critically endangered, it's due to the fact of, poachers, hunters. And what hunters do to poor rhinos, tigers, fucking elephants, all these sort of things, they grind. I mean, and this may sound racist, but it's an actual proven fact. And if anyone wants to challenge it, go right ahead. But the facts still remain as it is. So when you think about Chinese, when you think about the Chinese, you're looking at, mate, more than you could ever chew. More than you could ever chew in terms of how much a leopard is. Before you even bought a leopard, you'd be broke. I ain't gonna lie to you, mate. Not worth it. But when you think about Chinese, and you think about how the Chinese believe by grinding the bones of a tiger, or grinding down the elephant's tusks into medical practice to help cure certain illnesses, it is not true. It is scientifically proven that what the Chinese believe is not true. Mate, way higher than that, lad. Way higher than that. Way too. And not only that, I wouldn't even. Even if you were to offer that much money, sorry to say, we wouldn't even. We wouldn't even let you. But even when you think about, like I say, when you think about all these practices. So I'm gonna put on my zoo uniform because I feel like people are gonna believe. One sec, guys. So as I say, when you think about animals as a whole, as a species, you are looking for the answers right in front of you. In terms of, when you think about the Chinese, they believe grinding bones of these creatures and the horns is gonna make them better, make them feel more, you know, cured. It's not true. It's scientifically not proven. So Chinese believe by getting these killed and grinding, their horns, or grinding down tiger bones or anything like that, it's meant to cure. No. So the Chinese still haven't really figured that element out yet, but it's been proven time and time again that that is bullshit, that it doesn't work. So it's why it is so important to always remember your facts before you end up, lying to people by saying, "Oh, if you drink this medicine that's came from a rhino horn, it's." I mean, pangolins are very much heavily trafficked for their keratin, because they are one of the world's most scaly mammals, and not much is known about them. But they are heavily trafficked, and there's a lot of, and there is so much, again, with the Chinese, that the Chinese eat pangolins as a delicacy, and they will take out all of the keratin that is their scales, because their scales is made of the same stuff that is made out of your fingernails or your hair. So keratin is what they have on their body. So, you got to think a heavily trafficked, mammal, which is the pangolin, is heavily used for, the Chinese delicacy, which is to eat pangolin. They believe that that's a delicacy, and only the rich and the wealthy can eat a pangolin because it's big. It's a big time, when in reality it's not. And there are so many conservations and so many conservation experts that are literally, you know, mate, there's a lot. I mean, it's not just the Chinese. There are lots of different things involved with that. There's so many things that, is wrong. I mean, yo, what's up? You don't know. It's like how the Americans have a lot of, tigers in captivity in their own homes. A lot of Americans believe that they can go out and buy these creatures and just mess up their dietary needs, which is not okay. And then you see some people in other parts of the world that have big cats, like the jaguar, like lions, like whatever. And most Eastern Europe countries buy monkeys and entrap them, force feed them crap and all this other, and it's not good. And I know people don't want to hear the truth, and people want to just hear the more amazing sides of nature, but for me, I love talking about all aspects of nature, from the grim to the beautiful to the unique to everything in between. So do not get it twisted. I'm not having to go at, people, but I'm generally saying as a genuine fact that people should not be allowed to have these sort of creatures living in the homes. You should not have a lion in your home. You should not be hand feeding a lion off your hand. Like, did you ever see a lion go and catch a hippo with its, just by the hippo saying, "Okay, take me"? No. It didn't get handed on a plate. It got handed, because they hunted it. Fuck me, it's busy tonight. Okay. Let's start. Everyone's having a good night tonight. But yeah, that is how I stand. That there's a lot of grittiness in nature that people don't understand, and that's why, come a guy like me that is passionate about nature and educating all of you guys on every aspect is so important. From the beautiful facts to the grim to the reality to the whatever. And if none of you believe me that having a pet chimpanzee is great, is not a good idea, go and look at the audio clip that was sent and was actually recorded from the 911 police department, where they dealt with a chimpanzee that pretty much tortured someone's best friend. And it was a captive, it was captive, and it was kept in captivity. And as a result, they found out the hard way. So you can't have nature mingle in people's homes. If you have training and you have the facilities to understand, the animal's needs, dietary needs, what is actually the correct way of looking after an exotic animal like a lion or a tiger, then go for it. But if you don't know what you're doing and you generally have no understanding about the temperament or the behavior of the animal that you are getting, don't go and buy it. It's that simple, because you're putting yourself at risk and you're actually doing more harm than you are doing good. And then that's when cruelty comes into it, if you're not doing the right thing. So always do your research, always understand the element of looking after nature. You know what I mean? That's just a fact. So I hope everyone understands that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. it is actually really ridiculous how people think they can, you know, have a crocodile in their back room. Mate, honestly, it's so ridiculous. And somebody's not educated. So welcome to the channel, new boy. I don't think you know a lot about nature, and that's okay. I think he's just got a little bit spooked out, that's why he ran away. He didn't want to say the last part because he knows that he sees my moderators in. Okay, let me give you the point. The point being is you clearly don't understand that having an exotic animal like a jaguar, leopard, all that sort of stuff will always end up killing you. And it's about common sense over everything else. Goodbye. What? Oh no, you just got rid of somebody. Oh no, you didn't. Okay, no, that's fine. You got rid of the right person. Yeah, you got rid of the right person. I was about to say the other person is innocent then. I was like, oh shit. He is. He is a knob. He is, and that is a fact. But yeah, for everybody that's just joined, do go and subscribe because I do talk about nature. I talk about the beautiful sides of nature, everything in between. So if it's something that you like and you want to learn about nature and not about politics or anything like that, then this channel is dedicated for you. We work endlessly to make sure that, you know, you guys are entertained with some of the facts and everything else in between because, you know, in it. But you know, we love nature. I love talking about nature. I don't care about politics. I don't care about religion. I don't care about, you know, fights or any of that sort of crap. I'm just here to basically show you guys my passion and what I love doing and everything else in between. I ain't got time for drama, and I sure as hell ain't got time for people that want to talk about politics or religion. Yeah, that does happen. That does happen. So yeah, all in all, we got a lot coming up. Like the, you know, me eventually once I get the podcast sorted out. Damn, that is kind of creepy. That is kind of creepy that it apologized after doing what it did. That's creepy. Not gonna lie, but yes, like I say, we are doing a podcast which will be ran through you know, through Spotify. So if you want to listen to that, all about nature and everything in between like that, go once I get that up and running, that will be, you know, promoted to you on my on YouTube, as well as, you know, doing what I'm still doing on YouTube. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that is supporting my channel, that is allowing my channel to grow and blossom in the way that it's going. It helps a lot. So I appreciate all of you. I really do. It means a hell of a world to me to know that you guys are passionate about nature and that you are on board with that and that you appreciate what I'm bringing to the table. It means so much to me. So thank you all so much for showing the love and support. I could not have had any more great experiences on YouTube than what I've got at the moment. You guys are amazing. I love each and every last one of you for supporting the channel. It does mean the world to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for always, you know, showing the love, showing the commitment, and not only that, just vibing. You guys are a vibe, and I love that. So, you know, it's much appreciated, and I can see that you guys are always willing to learn new things, And it's like I say, I learn off you guys learn off me. It's a beautiful thing. And I love that balance. I really do. So, yeah. So much to look forward to. So much to look forward to. And you know, and this is the thing, I'm not here to be famous. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to do any of that sort of shit. I'm just simply here to enjoy what I do. I hope to grow on YouTube too. I've got about 541 subscribers and over. Mate, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Go live and spread your love. Show your passion, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Just show your love and your passion. Don't be afraid to speak what you love. And if it's nature and that sort of stuff, then go for it, man. Because you got that motivation to capture that, and show people that you ain't afraid to go and talk about things that people are too bored of talking about. Like, I love that when I come on my live streams, there are literal people that only flip through very quickly, because they either, one, they don't give a fuck about nature, two, they don't give a shit about what's being spoken about. But then there are people that do give a shit. Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? So yeah, it is all about captivating what you love doing, bro. So grow your channel, go live, and make your presence known. Because I tell you now, bro, like, if you're passionate like I am, because I'm not, like I say, I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to, try and get all the money in the world on YouTube. No, I'm just here because I love the passion. I love what I do. I want to educate. I want to show people the ins and outs of nature through and through, regardless of it. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about having all the fame. I don't care about that. I care more about building a solid audience with my fans that support and love and want to learn nature than I do about money. Money don't mean shit to me. But what I do love is what you guys bring to the table. That sense of a community where you learn off me and I learn off you guys. And it's give and take, give and take, give and take. That's what I love. It's like you guys feel comfortable enough to come back and listen to what I got to say. Listen to the facts. And then I read your comments quite easily, and I'm like, oh my god, that's really cool, or I didn't know this, or what, or whatever. That is what YouTube should really be about. It's about building a community of, a solid foundation. So, just because you're all subscribed does not mean that it's about the money or it's meant to be about fame. No, it's about the connections you build with people. The connections we have is beautiful because you guys are supporting my channel. Like, I could not, if I screwed up, I lose subscribers, I lose everything that I got. But the reality